let's talk about fall cleanup on the homestead, garden, farm, whatever. Out here on the prairie, we can go from today, 70 degrees, gorgeous, to freezing, blowing snow in a matter of a day. So when it's really nice like this over the weekend, it's time to get things going. So far, I've pulled up all the vines that were escaping into the yard where the cat is sitting. We'll probably get to mow that just to clean it up a little bit. I don't know how far we're going to get on the garden this year as far as cleaning it up. What I like to do is get everything pulled out once it dies. Any of the really woody stuff like the corn stalks and like the possibly diseased tomatoes, I like to burn them all and then just keep that, just burn it right in the garden, keep the ash, till it under. Sometimes we till in the fall, but probably not going to get to that this year. I don't know. I don't want to pull the Brussels sprouts out until they freeze once. So those are done, and the flowers, they're still look good, so they're going to stay. I'll probably have to put away my hoses pretty soon here. I want to sterilize the trellis, but I probably will do that in the spring. Plenty of time for that. I got the bulbs planted in the pollinator garden. I'm not going to pull any of these plants because hollyhocks have a ton of seeds. I don't know if the birds eat them, but they might. These will have seeds, so of the ones, I'll save a few, but otherwise, birds will probably eat those. Same with the rudbeckia. So pretty much this, I'm going to leave this a wild jungle. In the spring, maybe when it dies, gets nice out, then I'll cut everything back. I might actually leave the fencing up too. I usually it's just this wimpy fence, but I think I'll leave it because I think that will keep like deer from at least crawling in there and digging up my bulbs. I will probably get the pots put away so they don't get wrecked. I already got the garlic planted. I do need to mulch it. Herbs and stuff will stay. I'll probably leave the flowers until they're completely dead. Waiting for frost to pick all the loofah. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit colder before I mulch in the strawberries. We were actually still pulling strawberries. We had one huge red strawberry and the deer ate it, so I put the nut back on. I do want to transplant my rhubarb, but I think I'm going to do that in the fall or in the spring because I don't really have a spot for them yet. Supposedly my greenhouse is going right there, and I think I'm going to put the rhubarb next to that. So I did dig up most of these gardens. I haven't decided if I'm going to pull out the teepee. I do need to weed whack around here. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. For the most part, probably just going to leave the sad pumpkin patch just because we're gonna till all this next year. So might as well just leave my orange flowers sitting out there. I'll probably pull some of the vines off of here once it gets colder. I'm still holding out hope that something grows. I've got a couple sad little pumpkins. Here's one little guy, and then there's a couple of spinning gourds on here, and this bottle or this birdhouse gourd, it's still going. I don't think it's going to get big enough to dry. Got a couple of them, but a couple of daisy gourds anyway, and then there's still marigolds and stuff, so we'll leave those. But for the most part, other than cleaning up the stuff when it dies, as long as everything's sort of self-contained in the garden. Sometimes we get a sort of an early spring where it gets really nice and you want to do something and there isn't really anything you can't plant yet. So that's kind of the time I like to try and clean up some of this and get it burnt down. Save something fun for early spring when you have nothing better to do but you want to get outside. Let's see what else there is to do on the old farm. Picked most of my pumpkins, very sad. They're all very tiny. These are some squash. There's a few more. I picked these a little early because something was eating them. There's a couple more still growing out there, but this is, hopefully next year this will be times 50 and actually fully mature pumpkins. We'll get the hoses put away. We've got like the big water trough over here that's just been catching the runoff from the house. But I think I have to brood chicks this spring, so I might have to get that cleaned up just so it's ready to go. Eventually we'll sweep some leaves for the mulch pile. I like to leave as many as I can, but the kids always like to rake some to jump in. We usually got to pick those up so it doesn't kill the grass. I got to pick up all the various garbage that's floating around. I was cleaning the water table in the pools so I can put those away. Got a hose to put away out there. I've got some more fencing coming for this garden back here because I want to put little circles around everything like I started. I don't know if I'm going to get to that. Boy, there's still a lot of weeds in here, a lot of grass. Yeah, I don't know. This is the one where I think, where do I even start? I pulled some weeds in here so my blue flags so I could see them. Probably got to put away my gnomes so they don't break. I did get most of the fairy garden houses and things picked up. I want to fill this with more dirt, but I got to kind of work around the plants that are in here. I think I might take out my path and start over, which means I probably will take out all these big things too. Get that all cleaned up. I put my storm windows in, my garden shed. I cleaned the chicken coop windows. I sprayed them off. Usually, sometimes I'll do Windex or whatever, but I was lazy, so I just sprayed them. They're a little better. I already cleaned out stripped the whole thing, but I haven't gotten to get shavings or straw yet. I still have to put that window back in. Sifted out the sand dust bath. I could use some more sand in there or something. I'm gonna have to clean up all this but they're gonna be in here for a couple days with no shavings. They don't like it. They slip and slide around. But it sure is easier to clean. Got the mulch pile going back in the corner there. Got the puppy dog. She wants to play. What else is there to do? Pick up any toys that are floating around, I suppose. I did already clean my garden shed, but then I started sorting my seed collection. So I got to finish doing that. I got all the seeds. All these boxes. These ones I've sorted, more or less. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all seeds. I have to sort and figure out what in the world I'm going to do with them because they can't stay out in here because this is not heated and they'll all freeze. So where am I going to put them? I think, so like all these boxes are just one layer of seeds. So realistically, if I get like a plastic tote and have some sort of flat cardboard in between each layer, I could fit, probably all of this in one tote. So I don't know what we're looking at, 3 totes or something that I have to sneak into the house in the basement to hide. What I really need someday is I need a root cellar. That's what I need. But I don't have one. Anyway, this was mostly cleaned up. Now it kind of looks worse. I do want to sterilize all my planting equipment, like pots and stuff, but I could probably do that in the spring before I use them. I've got some sunflower seeds drying that I've got to get off of here. I had to put the kennels away. The list goes on and on. And now the cat is in there, so I can't shut the door on her. So that is kind of the list, I guess. I have a real list somewhere. mostly pick everything up so it doesn't blow away. We get a lot of wind on the prairie, like 30 miles an hour on a regular basis. Everything drifts, so anything that is sitting like near the driveway or something will end up with a giant snow drift next to it. But hopefully we got another, I mean, it doesn't have to be 70 degrees. I can work in 50 degrees as long as it's nice out and not windy like it is today. Got to get the golf cart charged up and put away. But all that has to happen in between farming, digging, harvesting, and all that. So life on the prairie, I guess.